I for baby aqua ever feel Black media. Safo now have me subscribe. Now I share, now I like, now I comment. But notification be on also send a new update be anonym power son. Really can I can. I didn't know I imagine for. You never can or manga na in end. 2020 in some be a course so read. A year honorable Sewa and I say honorable Sarah Adwoa Safo and Okoje Nkrumfo bisika edi no then the Black Rasta babontin abekasa in fact we blasting people for do in fact John mama crampo no agene die yenkone nkotin nsema Black Rasta babontin abeka ye ba na ndi bibia no ahwehwe so
General Ssint Deputy Director General walks out of a promotion of Safo Jr. to Director General, and I read. Now, a Deputy Director General of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, Ssint, in charge of Finance and Administration, Michael Addo, has reportedly resigned from office. Now, according to a report by Daily Guide News Network, the resignation of Mr. Addo, which comes on the back of the recent dismissal of the Director General of Ssint, Dr. John Oforitinkrine, is informed by the appointment of Kofi Busumpim Osafo Marafo by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as his replacement. Now, the Daily Guide report cited by Ghana Web underscores that bad blood existed between Mr. Addo and Busumpim Safo Marafo, who were both serving as deputy directors under Dr. Tinkrine. Hence, his decision to quit his position following the promotion of the latter to the topmost position at the state-owned company. Now, my brother, my sister, let us look at this thing as quickly as we can. The son of Osafo Marafo, senior minister and advisor to the President of the Republic of Ghana, who over the years has proven to the whole Ghana that he is incompetent and incapable. Now, if his advice was anything good to go by, this country would have been a better one. But my brother, my sister, the president is not doing any better. The nation is not doing any better. And as it stands right now, so many people are looking for change. My brother, my sister, this notwithstanding, a son of Osafo Marafo has been promoted to Director General at the Ssint, Social Security and National Insurance Trust. And for that matter, his deputy, one Mr. Addo, has decided to take the walking orders. In other words, sack himself. In other words, resign. I applaud him. This is a great man. This is a man who follows his words. My brother, my sister, we are tired of hearing people say, oh, I am only the mate. Or I was only the mate. I only sat down and followed the whims and caprices of the driver. And for that matter, anything that has gone bad is not applicable to me. After all, I was only the mate. This is an irresponsible way of serving the people. Now you are taking the taxpayers' money, and all you can tell us is that you are the mate. And you have never been anything else but the mate. We didn't pay you to be the mate. We paid you as the taxpayer to work for us. And if you decided to relegate your office to the office of the mate, if we wanted a mate, we would have gone to Blakk. We would have gone all the way to Circle. We would have gone all the way, my brother, my sister, to Nima to look for better mates. My brother, my sister, I applaud this gentleman here called Mr. Addo. Mr. Addo has decided that death is better than dishonor. He has decided to walk away despite the fact that He's going to lose money. He's going to lose his livelihood, albeit temporarily. I am so full of pride for this man. This was what we were looking for in Bawamia. At the time that he realized that he was being relegated to the office of the mate, he should have honorably resigned. But Ghanaian politicians do not have resignation in their dictionary, except when they are forced and pushed out. That is when we hear the word resignation. The Ghanaian politician has no virtues. The Ghanaian politician has no honor. The average Ghanaian politician is a puppet. The average Ghanaian politician hoodwinks the people every now and then. In fact, the average Ghanaian politician is a joke. For Mr. Addo to say that, listen, I am walking out because I do not like the way my boss has been pushed aside. I do not like the way this arrogant guy is being brought in here. By virtue of politics, I have stepped out. I applaud him. This is how the nation should run. We should run the nation looking at the bigger picture. We should not be looking at our stomachs. A lot of people are still in there taking huge salaries. Yet, my brother, my sister, they are doing next to nothing. They are only the driver's mates. How can the nation grow? You taking money and you are not showing anything for the money. Where is the work done? I would be so ashamed if I worked in a company where I only took salary and there was no work shown. I leave it here. Now the next thing I would like to look at is a flashback. And this one is coming from Ghana where it says flashback. My Get Fund scholarship was to help me serve you better. And this is coming from Adwoa Safo. My brother, my sister, this was published on Sunday, that's yesterday, the 14th of April, 2024. And I read, back in February 2020, a list of government Get Fund scholarship beneficiaries put out by the then Auditor General Daniel Yao Domlevo revealed that some politicians and their relatives over the years benefited from the scheme meant for brilliant but needy students in the society. The then Minister of State in charge of public procurement and the MP for Nkwasiafo, Sarah Adwoa Safo, was amongst the people who were named as beneficiaries of the scheme. She was reported to have been awarded the sum of $17,004 American for tuition and an additional $12,800 American for living allowances for a training program at Harvard Kennedy School. Reacting to the publications, Ms. Safo said that the tone of the said publication was erroneous, and smacks of an attempt to smear my reputation as a member of parliament and minister of state and box me into a self-serving public official. Now the former deputy majority leader of parliament also indicated that the purpose of receiving the Get Fund support was to attend a program at the Harvard Kennedy School to enable me to serve the constituents, parliament, and nation better, and urge the public to disregard the said publication and treat it with the contempt it deserves. Now, my brother, that was the tip of the iceberg. Today we have rich people, medical doctors, my brother, my sister, in private practice, earning so much money with offices located in the most opulent parts of Accra, going after poor people's scholarships. We have ministers of state taking that. We have politicians taking that and drawing in their relatives as well. We have government officials earning huge salaries, taking poor people's money in the name of scholarship. Adwoa Safo should bow down her head in shame. This was what she said in 2020. When she got the scholarship, they gave her 17,000 Ghana cedis plus 12,000 Ghana cedis in all. Almost 30,000 American dollars. I beg your pardon. 30,000 American dollars, not Ghana cedis, to go and study. And here she says shamelessly that, oh, it was supposed to make me a better person to serve you better. What was the purpose of the scholarship? It's simple. It's for poor people who are needy. Are you poor? Are you needy? My brother, my sister, a minister of state in charge of procurement. At the same time, my brother, my sister, she was a parliamentarian. She still went for that money. Poor people's money. And a lot of poor people were sent away because they didn't have any member of their families as politicians. Today, my brother, my sister, this greed has gone haywire. Blakk just responded to John Hughes' apology, in which he said that he has accepted the apology and acknowledged it. But he wants to put it on record. There is no day he would ever go for a government scholarship. Why? Because those government scholarships are meant for poor but needy students. We live in a country that believes so much in religion. Yes, spirituality is at its lowest ebb. Now it's all about word, sound, and power. If you are not something and you say you are that thing. Spirituality will tell you that you will become that thing, especially if it's a bad thing. If you are not visually impaired and you decide to wear dark glasses and go to Nima and sit at the mosque and lying, begging people, claiming that you are blind, I pray for blindness for you. Money that is supposed to be going to blind people, money that is supposed to be going to visually impaired people, physically challenged people, my brother, you go and usurp it from them. Box the food from out of their mouths, take the food from out of their plates, and you are happy. You say that this is supposed to make you better, to come and save the people better. What a shame. What was the purpose, and what is still the purpose of the scholarship anyway? It's for poor but needy people. Dirty politicians, dirty-minded hypocrites who call themselves politicians will go after this money, claiming to be serving the people, yet they are rather looting from the people. I leave it here. Now the next thing I would like to look at, and is very, very much important, is this thing here that I need all of us to open our ears and listen with rapt attention. Oh my God. Some of these stories break my heart so much, my brother. But I need you to come along. Let's look at it together and see if the nation is moving forward or is going backward. This one I'm reading from 3news.com, and it says targeting businesses of political opponents is a major problem in Africa. Mahama at Afro Heritage Conference in Lagos, and I read, former President John Dramani Mahama is worried about the attitude of African governments targeting businesses owned by their political opponents. Mr. Mahama stated that part of the problem is not having more rich African businessmen. Is that governments tend to target businesses created by their political opponents. I take that paragraph again. Mr. Mahama stated that part of the problem for not having more rich people and rich businessmen in Africa is that governments tend to target businesses created by their political opponents. And to that end, he has urged African governments not to act in ways that destroy businesses. I leave it here. My brother, come along. Let us look at this. My brother, what former President Mahama said is nothing but the truth. You know that, right? In Africa, and you can look at Ghana for that matter, anytime there is a new government, it's an opportunity to target businesses owned by political opponents. If you are not a card-bearing member of my political party, it's time to pay you in your own coin. It's time to show you where power lies. It's time to show you that we are in power. It's time to make you regret for not being part of our political movement. My brother, my sister, we have seen this happen to so many different people. We see this business thriving so much. And when there is a change in regime, people become paupers. I can mention 1 million people right now. Look at the business of Nam1. It was doing quite well in the days of President Mahama. All of a sudden, there was a regime change. And bam, Nam1 came down to zero. Now Mahama himself is going around saying, hey, if I come into power, I will deal with Nam1. And I'm like, but Nam1 was a man who was thriving when you were president. Why didn't you deal with Nam1? Now that Nam1 has been targeted by a new regime, you are also targeting the same Nam1. Nam1, in that case, should have been doing something at the blind side of your government then, right? Now we can all see Amuabin. Amuabin has become a pauper in just a matter of moments. So many businesses have gone down the line. Banks have gone down the line. Sedu Agongo's business has gone down the line. But can we blame everything on the new regime? Let us also look at the regimes in which some of these businesses thrive. They are inordinately, most of the time, pushed by the regime because they are members of their regime. Should I say it again? Some of these businesses that thrive in regimes, they are politically enhanced. Some of them do not even deserve some of the monies that they take. Some of the push that they get, my brother, my sister, but at the end of the day, when they are pushed, they move higher and higher, sometimes even illegally. So when the new regime comes, it does not necessarily witch hunt them, but it looks into the books and realizes that, oh no, something bad went on here. We got to deal with it. We have to look at it on both sides. It's not always that there is a witch hunt. I know businesses that thrived in the last regime and are still thriving in this regime. Why have they not been targeted? Because they have risen above reproach. This is what every business should look at. This is what every business should look at. Any political enhancement you are getting, you must make sure that it is very legal and deserving. If it is not legal and it's not deserving, and another regime comes on and decides to pick you up and you call that witch hunting, then we have a problem. Now to President Mahama, with all respect, we are not just looking for rich African businessmen. We are looking for rich business African men who earned it. Deservingly rich African businessmen. Not just rich men who got ill-gotten wealth. I leave it here. Now, another thing that Mahama said in Lagos, he's advocating a visa-free regime across Africa. The day we achieve this, that is going to be the beginning of Africa becoming the capital of the world. My brother, if African people are able to travel visa-free to any part of Africa, and if all African countries acknowledge that they are Africans, and that these North African brethren of ours stop calling themselves Europeans and call themselves Africans, or else please relocate to Europe, we will gladly give you that chance, so that, my brother, Africa can stand on its feet again. We will have a problem. When you go to Europe, one European nation can move all over, except England, that decided to be a stepchild. My brother, my sister, we are looking forward to this, and I think it's most important. I won't go too much into it. Now, there's something here that is quite dicey, but I really want to look at it. And I need you to come along. I'm going to spend just 5 minutes on this or less. And I'm reading this from Ghana Web. It says, you are insulting Stonebwoy's late mom while you can't even feed your living mom. And this is Asha Modi talking to Shatawale. I take it again. You are insulting Stonebwoy's